And to go from a leak.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again. We are the Agents of Helm to our new podcast. Um, in front of me, we have the agents here. All four agents are in the building. I am Malik, and I will be your moderator for tonight. And we have Joe,
What's up, people?
Johanna,
Hey.
and of course Lorenzo.
In the house.
And today's episode is actually was probably one of the more anticipated episodes. I mean, I think the agents came to me over the course of this week and were like at different moments, and we're all kind of excited about getting into this episode. And I think that's probably just because it's probably one of the lighter. We talked about death, and we've made that interesting and funny, and that's usually very morbid. We've talked about different parts of life, different aspects of life, and done a good job of trying to make those entertaining and funny. Well, this time we don't actually have to make it funny. This is the comedy episode, and this is the episode where we will discuss the things that make us laugh, the things that we enjoy, the things that we love, and the best medicine for everybody. So before we get started and actually go down the agenda, I wanted to do a quick icebreaker with all of the agents. So today's icebreaker is going to be all of our agents telling a joke, telling one joke that they have either written up themselves or researched something good, something funny. It can be any type of joke that you want. The only thing that we say is you cannot be a knock-knock joke. So it can't be something really stupid and and really campy or anything like that. So what we're gonna start with Joe, and he's gonna tell us a quick joke. Joe, go right ahead.
Hey guys, hold on. I'm sorry. Malik.
Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. Do you hear it too? It sounds almost like maybe like your mic is rubbing against your chin.
Joe's mic or my mic?
It's you. It's whenever you talk, I hear like a little crackling in the back. I don't know, Joe. Do you hear that too, or is it just?
No, I know what you're talking about.
I do hear a little bit of a crackle.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if I pull it away from my face, is it still there? Now I pulled it away from me, so is it still there?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. All right, so I'll keep it from this length. All right, so we can cut that part out. All right, so yeah. Let me just recatch myself. Okay.
Sorry.
So before we no problem. So before we jump into the agenda for today's episode, I wanted to do a quick icebreaker with the agents. So what we're gonna have is each agent is going to tell us a joke. He's gonna tell us one joke. It's going to be any type of joke that you want. The only thing that I suggest that I stress is that it cannot be a knock-knock joke. It has to be something, something original, something that you found online, or something that you wrote up, but just a good joke that we can all get started with. So, Joe, how about you get us started?
Oh man, I gotta warm the crowd.
Yes, you gotta. You're the opener.
Okay, give it my best shot. All right. I have a kid, and I like to show my daughters pictures, but there are some people that just take it way too far, and they come up to you like, "Hey, have you seen my kid? Let me show you a picture of my kid. Here's my kid. Have you seen my kid?" And I was like, one day I just got fed up with one of my wife's friends. I was like, "Listen, get the milk carton out of my face. It's been 2 years. You're not gonna find him. Okay? You're not gonna find him."
That was good.
Oh my goodness.
I did not see that coming. At all. Oh my gosh, that
Brutal.
was good. That's horrible.
Coming out swinging, Joe.
I mean, seriously, Johanna, you definitely got a joke to live up to.
No.
You're next.
Gosh, I don't have anything like that. I have the only joke that I tell. Well, there's a punny. Maybe I'll tell that one. I'll tell my punny joke. So, I was like a freshman in college, and I was eating breakfast, and it was like 7:30 in the morning, and I finished eating breakfast, and I was talking to my friend, and I was like, yeah, I've got my class at 10 o'clock and blah blah blah, and she's like, oh, are you in a rush? Do you need to get anywhere? I'm like, no, it's Russian, but I'm in no hurry.
Oh, you put out
That's
the
so.
oldie.
That was so corny. I had to laugh. It was great. It was,
Because the class was rushing, but you weren't in a hurry.
Thanks,
Whoa!
Lorenzo. Thanks, Lorenzo, for the analysis. Those are the only jokes I can tell are corny jokes.
I feel like a drum roll should go like boom boom after that.
and yeah, that's one of those. That's definitely one of those ones that needs a because you weren't sure if the punchline just came or not. Like you're like, was it there? Did that happen? Okay, it's over. Okay, no problem.
Rim shot. Rim shot.
On my head.
Great. No, look. I'm definitely happy that you went for something an oldie but goodie from you. You know, that's good. That's definitely a good one. But we're in for a real treat, ladies and gentlemen. Lorenzo has taken it upon himself.
No, you charged me with this. Don't put it on me.
Originally. So let's
All I said was that I was gonna make my own joke.
let's take a step back and tell how this all came about. Originally, the joke was just supposed to be one joke for everybody, and then Lorenzo came and approached me and told me that he was working on material to create his own joke. So I said to him, well, hey, do you want to do a whole set? You know, and Lorenzo, you should have seen. Now, Joe was on vacation at the time, right? Joe was on vacation, so he wasn't in the office. And Johanna, I think you weren't in the office, or you either hadn't come in or you were at your desk. The smile on Lorenzo's face when I told him he was going to get 3 uninterrupted minutes to tell whatever jokes he wanted and be as wild and crazy as he wanted to do his stand up. Lorenzo, the smile. I mean, like seriously.
Oh.
I would guess I would just gave him money. Okay, so I am very excited, and I know all of you guys are excited, and anybody that's listening or will be listening is going to be excited to hear what our stand-up professional Lorenzo can give us. So, without further ado, I think we should, let's do a quick round of applause and let's welcome Lorenzo to the stage. So, Lorenzo, it's on you. Take it away.
What?
Okay, thank you. So, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I'm glad y'all can make it. We got any out-of-towners in the audience? Yeah? No? That's great.
No.
Any New York natives out there? Any New York natives?
Yeah.
Anyone in the Empire State? Wow, that's amazing. Everybody? It sort of feels like natives can be kind of hard to find these days, like they hid you all on a reservation. You can do worse, gambling and untaxed cigarettes. Actually, it sounds a little like East New York. No, I'm just kidding. East New York takes a lot of crap. It's got a bad rap. Well, it's got good rap, but bad reputation. You know what, though? It can be hard knowing what the truth is about places because I hate to agree with my racist landlady about anything, but I was out there at night once, entonces, because East New York, no, it's bueno. Yeah, that is the thing about New York, though. I find myself slowly devolving into my racist Puerto Rican landlady. I feel like when I first got here, I was something of an idealistic liberal, but living in this city. Whoa, I took a walk this evening. I live in Sunset Park in Brooklyn. Anybody? Anybody?
No.
No, not yet.
No? Okay. Well, I took a walk up to the eponymous public space. Is that the way you would use eponymous, Johanna?
Yes.
Johanna,
If it's
please. I'm doing my 3 minutes. Nobody likes a heckler. No, seriously. No, I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, Sunset Park is all Mexicans and Chinese. Yeah, the Mexicans and Chinese share a proud history of collaboration. I remember first arriving in New York and being absolutely shocked to go into a Mexican restaurant and seeing Chinese guys in the back. Where I come from, Mexicans make Mexican food, but over time I learned Chinese can make Mexican food too. Trouble, of course, is half an hour later you're hungry again, and you have gas. Farting and eating at the same time. I think Kevin Spacey killed somebody like that in the movie Seven. What's in the box? What's in the box? Chalupas. Why more Mexican? Why? Yeah. So, walking in the park is crazy, man. You see folklorico dancers. That's like Mexican folk dancing, I guess. And the Chinese, they're doing whatever their equivalent of folklorico is. they're also doing Tai Chi. You know Tai Chi? It's like if you took that movie The Matrix and had Keanu Reeves fighting all those agents in slow motion, but you took out all the agents so that it was just Keanu Reeves, and then you replaced Keanu Reeves with the old guy from the laundromat. That's Tai Chi. You know, the Chinese, they have their version of folklorico dancing, but the Mexicans don't have their version of Tai Chi. Well, you know, I'm Mexican, so maybe I should go out there and do the choreographed fight from the West Side Story. Yeah. Well, I know. Those are Puerto Ricans, but what else do we got? The fire hydrant scene from Blood In, Blood Out? The mom from Lambada? My Ricky! Edward James Olmos? I can pantomime, stand, and deliver. Anyway. So, I'm walking, and I want some food, so I think dumplings over on 7th Avenue, because once you get up there, then it's like a little Chinatown where you can still get an order of chive and pork dumplings for $1. But I didn't have any cash. So then I start looking for a Chase Bank, because I don't want to pay fees to get money out, even though it's Sunset Park and the ATMs at the dollar stores only cost $1. But $1 can buy me dinner from a rude Chinese man. So how am I going to justify spending the price of my dinner to get the money to pay for my dinner? So, secure with that logic, I kept walking up avenues. I walked all the way up to 13th Avenue. But then it's like a whole... Guys, I'm hearing a little bit of noise in the background. I got some hecklers on the show.
No, nothing from us.
Okay. So, you guys don't hear that?
I hear it's like a TV on or something.
Johanna.
Malik just muted himself.
It's not me.
Malik just muted himself.
Maybe it was me. I don't know.
Malik,
Maybe it was me. I don't have a TV on. I don't know what it is.
Take it out in post.
I think you have like a TV in your head that is playing all the time. Did you like surgically implant a television in your head, Malik?
It's the soundtrack of my life, man.
Okay. So, anyway, yeah, so the dollar stores only cost $1, but $1 can buy me dinner from a rude Chinese man. So how am I going to justify spending the price of my dinner to get the money to pay for my dinner? Anyway, secure with that logic, I kept walking up avenues. I walked all the way up to 13th Avenue. But then, it's like a whole other world up there, man. Judonia. Up there, the streets are litter-free, and everybody is an Orthodox Jew. And they have the best ATMs. Seriously, they have these huge touch screens that are all high-tech and shit. And you can get your money in any combination of denominations that you want. If I wanted to, I could have fucking taken out $3. And my response to this fiscal nirvana? Figures. That's what I said to myself in my head. Figures. As in, it figures that the Jews have ATMs that can spit out dollar bills. What kind of racist shit is that? What have I become? My Puerto Rican landlady. All that walking, I was like, fuck the dumplings. I want ice cream. So I go into a Dunkin' Donuts Baskin Robbins. They should just say fuck it and sell moo-moos too. Speaking of, why do you think so many Indians work at Dunkin' Donuts? I think it's because of all the cow traffic. It reminds them of home. Baskin Robbins, where the Baskin Robbins, where the customer is always sacred. No, I'm joking. I don't really think that's why Indians work at Dunkin' Donuts. Speaking of jokes, though, you know why India will never win the World Cup? Because whenever they get a corner, they open up a Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, now hold on to that one. Hold on to it. It'll come in handy in about 4 years. So, picture it. So picture, I'm all queued up. I'm waiting by the ice cream, and there is a guy ahead of me. And there is another person waiting over on the other side for donuts. But everything is at a standstill because one person isn't happy with their bag of food. So they're holding the bag like it's got dog shit in it. It might, I don't know. But that's not what they ordered. They ordered a plain bagel buttered on both sides and double toasted. Double toasted. Who the fuck wants a double toasted bagel? So the poor Indian girl takes the bag from this person, and now she's about to pull out the contents to try to decipher where she went wrong. Again, perhaps it was dog shit. I'm guessing it was a bagel that wasn't sufficiently buttered and or Paul Walkered enough, and the sacred customer is like, no, I want a new bagel, and make it whole grain. Make it whole grain. Now, do you have a sufficient picture of this in your head, I ask you? What did this dissatisfied customer look like? Race, gender, weight class? Any guesses? Well, it was a fat black lady. And in my head, I'm thinking, fucking fat black ladies. Whoa, what the hell is wrong with me? I've become my racist Puerto Rican landlady. But come on, is it really all on me? I mean, if you're a fat black lady, shouldn't you be making an effort not to be ordering weird-ass shit and then getting all loud and angry when the English as a second language person at the counter misunderstands your order? Ooh, kind of lost my place. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, all right. And as awesome as it is, if you're an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, maybe you say pass on the ATM that can dish out dollar bills. Give it to the Mexicans. They like dollar bills too. I mean, you guys can't even eat pork and chive dumplings. Ha, okay, thanks. Y'all been a great audience.
Oh man, well thank you, Lorenzo. That's great. That is great. That was great. I definitely applaud you for your first. Was that your first attempt at stand up?
Yeah, that was my first attempt at stand up.
Well, I mean, like what? So what would you grade him, Joe? What would you grade Lorenzo stand up?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I guess. I don't know.
Let's do 1 to 5.
A 1 to 5.
Okay.
I give it a 3.
Okay, 3 is respectable. It's right there in the middle. What about you, Johanna?
Joe took my answer. I was going to say 3, so it's a 3.
I'm gonna go 3.5 to 4. I'm gonna go 3.7. Wow. the Indian. You know what? Because you know why. One thing I'll definitely say about when a stand-up actor is great when there's a joke in there that you want to use out of it, and I will definitely use the Indians on a corner thing. I'm going to use that at some point in time in the near future.
Well, you gotta wait 4 years.
You gotta wait 4 years. That was a priceless one. I'm definitely gonna go there with that. Well, thanks everybody. I'm really happy that you guys were able to put some effort into it, and that was great. That was actually great. I hope that all the listeners got an opportunity to write down those jokes so they can go and use them with their friends and family, especially Johanna's, because Wait
a minute, Malik. Don't you have to tell a joke too?
I don't technically have to tell a joke, and I was like, in the interest of time, I wanted to move it along. So I wasn't going to tell a joke. It would have to be, and I wanted to give you your full 5 minutes. So I didn't want to take that time up and tell a joke on my end and extend it even further. That's why I gave you your full 5. Otherwise, I would have taken the opportunity to tell mine too.
Now, do you have a joke, Malik, or are you just?
I have jokes. I'm a little bit, but but no, I do. I have a joke that I had queued up. It was relatively corny, not as corny as Johanna's, but it was corny. And but I was like, no. But honestly, my thought was give you your 5, let you do your thing, and then we could move. From there. If I had a joke, I would have gone before you, because I wanted you to have your time. So that's why. So is that sufficient for you, Lorenzo?
If you don't want to tell your joke, man, you don't have to tell your joke.
No, okay. I mean, look.
It can be a scary thing, I know.
Oh my God, the time that you spent discussing not having the joke and all that, you could have told it 10 times.
That is true.
I think he doesn't want to tell his joke.
No, look. I'll tell it. We have two hunters around the woods, out in the woods hunting deer when one of them collapses. The hunter that collapses, he doesn't seem to be breathing and his eyes are glazed over. Second hunter walks up to the guy, takes a look at him, puts his hand over his nose, and whips out his phone and calls emergency services. The 911 operator picks up, says, 911, how may I help you? What's the emergency? He gasps. He says, hey, my friend is dead. What can I do? What's going on? I think my friend is dead. So the operator says, calm down, sir. I can help you. First, let's make sure he's dead. There's silence. There's a little bit of a pause, about a couple minutes goes by, and then a gunshot is heard. The man picks back up the phone and says, okay, now what? What do I do? See? That's the joke. See? That was it.
You, my friend, also need a rim shot.
Exactly.
I'm looking it up. I'm as we speak, I'm downloading rim shots.
You should do
All
it.
right.
You should do it. Well, see, that's great. See, that's why I didn't want to tell it. See,
That was good. It made me feel better about my joke.
that was what I was going for. I tried to pick out a joke that was on par with yours, so that you wouldn't feel bad.
Oh.
Why am I the only one that gets rated? That's what I want to know.
Because you're the only one that did a 5-minute set.
Yeah.
We have to rate that set. Of
I don't
course.
know.
Well,
I don't know.
thanks again. That was a great icebreaker, guys. So we're gonna jump to the meat and potatoes of the agenda for the day. So I just wanted to say, so real quick, it's actually very rare that the podcast that we do actually ties into like something that's going on in entertainment, in the news, in the media, in our society, and I actually promise everybody I did not plan it this way. How could I? When the comedy episode, we had drafted up the comedy episode about a week and a half ago, before we started recording this, and the person that we're talking about was still alive and well as far as we knew. So yeah, I'm talking about Robin Williams. We just recently, on Monday, I believe it was Monday the 11th of August, we lost a comedy icon, if you will. Robin Williams passed away. So before I know a lot of people have talked about it. A lot of shows have done discussions and delved deep into it. And shoot, Obama made a statement about it. I mean, like everybody's talking about it. And like I kind of want to give him his just due. And on the comedy episode of The Agents of Helm, we are not going to make this a sullen Robin Williams, remembrance time. We're just going to talk about his characters. So wanted to kind of touch base with all of you guys. I believe all of you guys are either fans of his or have seen some of his movies. Lorenzo, can you run down some of your favorite Robin Williams characters and just touch base on what he's done to kind of help the genre of comedy?
Sure, yeah. So, one of my favorite shows was Happy Days, and that was when I first saw him. He was friends with the Fonz. He was this alien from outer space, and I thought he was so funny. I was a very young child, so his antics just really cracked me up. He would sit on his head, and he would not understand basic things like kissing. And so he actually went to the Fonz for love advice about human reproduction, and he also had powers too. He could stop things, and he had these powers. So I thought he was the coolest. And of course he had a spin-off, Mork and Mindy, and I really got to know Mork really well because it was a TV show, and so every week you see it. Well, I guess when I was watching it was in reruns. So every day I would see Mork and get to know him, how his people reproduce, how his people walk and talk and their strange customs. So I really, out of all of Robin Williams' characters, that was the one that I really got to know the most. And there's going to always be a soft spot in my heart from childhood for Mork and Minty too, and their little kid. Forgot what his name is. Anybody?
Jonathan Winters. I forget the kid's name, but Jonathan Winters played the son.
And I thought that was great
which
too.
Was odd. Which was odd to do. He was way older.
Right, because
that's what it was meant to be, obviously. But yeah.
Start old and then you get younger.
Yeah.
And I followed that show. I seem to remember it jumping the shark at some point, and I honestly can't. That was, I guess, he was the character they brought in when it started to. Anyway, it also introduced me to Buffalo, New York, which I didn't know was a place until I saw.
You didn't know it existed. Okay.
Yeah, and then of course my favorite teacher, John Keating. From Dead Poet Society, he was what a teacher was supposed to be to me, and I remember actually going into high school and having this really great humanities teacher, Mr. Whitmer, and thinking and making that connection between the two of them, And I think at one point during the year, Mr. Whitmer actually had us all get up and move around to different seats so that we get a different perspective on the class. And I was sure that he got that from Dead Poet Society. And of course, Popeye. I love Popeye. And when I was a kid and I saw that, you know, it was that movie was magical for me. I guess around that time, that was one of the first ones where, you know, now it's just so common, but back then you didn't maybe see these live action takes on some of your, you know, childhood cartoons, and so this is one of the first ones I remember, and it was just like magical because it brought this, you know, two-dimensional drawing to life, and I thought Robin Williams did a great Popeye. And I never would have thought of the similarities between Popeye and Robin Williams, but they both kind of have that muttering sort of sense of humor where they're just constantly telling jokes. And I wonder how many of Popeye's lines were ad-libbed. Anyway, those are my three big ones.
Cool. Yeah, Popeye was definitely one of my favorites as well. I can honestly say I didn't remember. Actually, I remember that was him for so long. I didn't even remember that was him until I saw it recently. I know I saw it as a kid, didn't remember anything about it until I saw it maybe about 2 years ago and realized that was Robin Williams. Joe, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Lorenzo about Mork and Mindy. I remember when it came on TV. Actually, when he was on Happy Days, and then when it moved to you know, when it did the spinoff and he had their own show. So I'm not going to get back too far into that. Probably, and I'll be honest, there are a ton of Robin Williams films that I have never seen. Like Good Morning Vietnam, I've never seen it. What are some of the other? Jumanji, I've never seen.
Wow, as such a movie buff, I'm surprised that you've never seen those two movies. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised too.
Something about, I don't know, I was never really attracted to those movies. But I did really like Good Will Hunting, and I really liked his character in that movie. Actually, the only character that won him an Oscar. It was very well done. Him playing Will Hunting's was it psychiatrist, therapist, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I thought he was great in that film. Trying to think of any other movies I've seen with Robin Williams. I was thinking about this after he passed away. I was like, wow, I have not seen like a ton. I've never seen Flubber. I've never sat down and watched all of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh man, you're missing out.
I just never have. I don't know why. It just I don't know. It just is. I remember when him, Whoopi Goldberg, and Billy Crystal got together to do the first comic relief. I believe it was like 1986. It was like a huge thing with the three of them getting together and putting on that I guess comic concert, if you will, to raise money, which was like, you know, something new. Comedians hadn't done that before, and you know, they were you know, trailblazers when it comes to that, raising money using comedy. But other than that, yeah, I can't really come up with any other real Robin Williams characters that I liked, but I think that should do for now. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, no problem. I mean, it's interesting that, I mean, maybe now that he's gone, I mean, you know, I don't know if that would, you know, spark your interest, but I would say that Good Morning Vietnam is a very good film. I would suggest that you see it. Take some moments out to see it. I'm sure that there's plenty of methods to see that now, especially out there.
And know what I think it was that I didn't get to, because I saw him as like a. Remember, I'm old enough to remember him actually watching Happy Days with him come on it, and then actually watching Mork and Mindy weekly on Tuesdays on ABC. And then, you know, I saw him as like a goofy guy. And then when he you know, he did like Moscow. Well, what was Moscow on Hudson? I think that was late '80s. But I think like he did dramatic roles, and I'm like, I can't see this guy in a dramatic role. I thought it was funny that he was doing that kind of stuff. But that's why I didn't pay much attention to Good Morning Vietnam and stuff like that, because I just didn't see it. I just couldn't see him doing that stuff, and I never really watched, and I didn't watch it.
Okay, well, I mean, That I think that Jumanji and Mrs. Doubtfire are like probably his three his three most popular movies
Yeah,
too.
I definitely are. I've never, and I haven't
And I'd
seen
say
any
Hook
of
as
them.
well, right? Hook would be considered
Yeah,
as well, right?
Rufio,
Yeah.
Rufio, Rufio. Sorry,
So
sorry.
I'm guessing I'm guessing Johanna that segue went right into one of your favorite Robin Williams moments. Am I
Uh,
correct?
it's actually not. But it's funny. I know you guys always dog on me because I haven't seen a lot of the movies you guys have, but I've seen a lot of Robin Williams movies. Like I have really. My younger brother is a huge fan of Robin Williams movies. So, and my brother had this habit. I'm sorry, Anthony, but I'm gonna call you out. When he found a movie he liked, he would watch it over and over and over and over. So I would end up having to watch it over and over and over and over. So, I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire is the first one that comes to mind. I think that role gave him an opportunity to do all. There's that whole sequence where he's trying on wigs with his brother, and he's doing all of these different, like he's doing the Cuban lady. Every night is like the Bay of Pigs. And he does like a Barbara Streisand impression, and then of course Mrs. Doubtfire. Um, I'm gonna I was going to talk about it a little later, and I know it's not really a popular film of his, but I love Death to Smoochie. I love that film. It
Death
is
to
so
Smoochie is
dark.
awesome. Yes, it is.
Oh, right,
No, Death to
right.
Smoochie is awesome. I love that movie.
It's like a cult classic, I
Uh-huh.
think, at this point.
Never
Because
seen it.
you have to see it. It's hilarious. There's this one part where, because he and Ed Norton are basically there, like Ed, they're both competing, like they're like Barney the dinosaur, basically. And
I
well,
know what
none
it's
of
about. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, Robin Williams calls up Edward Norton at one point, and he says, "You better grow eyes in the back of your head because I'm going on safari, motherfucker, safari." And it's just so fun. Then there's this whole like dance number that he does when Edward Norton gets accused of being a Nazi. It's like the rhino's a Nazi, the rhino's a Nazi. It's like the soft shoe. I was just such a huge fan. I realized after he died how many Robin Williams references I make in my life. Like there was this one moment where I was sitting at the dinner table with my daughter, and she she chewed just a little bit too much, and she was like struggling with it, and all I was thinking was "chew, sir," which is something that I don't know if you guys have ever seen his routine live on Broadway, his show.
I just recently saw it, as a matter of fact.
Right, and when he's talking about George W. Bush in the pretzel, and the Secret Service standing next to him saying "chew, sir." And Hook, I mean, Hook is good, but there's so many. I mean, What Dreams May Come, I know that's another one that people didn't really like. I really liked it. 1 Hour Photo, he was scary as fuck. Insomnia. He was just such a versatile actor, and I mean, he definitely is going to be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for me in particular, I know Death to Smoochie is definitely one of my like. I bought that movie on DVD when it finally was released. I bought it, and like if anybody that has not seen it, I've always suggested that they sit down and watch that movie because it's one of those movies that I don't think. So I remember when it first released, I don't think that as a trailer or like there was any kind of like really, really big buzz about it when it first came out. And it just kind of it was one of those word of mouth, like you said, like a cult movie that people saw and were kind of like, yo, that movie's awesome. Because it was a movie about, it was about like you said, about Barney or about this like character who, just didn't look like, something that you would want to go to the theater to see. And, after sitting down, I think I watched it on cable, and I cracked up laughing for so much, and I was like, this movie's awesome. But I think definitely my favorite is like, I love when actors do stuff or play roles that are not like really associated to who they are or who we know them to be, right? So I like when the beautiful woman plays like a homely type of role and plays it well, right? or something along those lines, or like the tough guy plays like a really really weak character or something like that. The Rock has a tendency to do those things. Like he tends to like bring himself down in order to show that even though he's a huge guy, he can play like these vulnerable characters. Well, Robin Williams, we all know him to be hilarious and be funny and and the joke and stuff like that. I mean, Johanna, you touched on it. I loved Insomnia. I absolutely loved his character
Oh
in
my
Insomnia.
God.
Like I thought that character was great. I loved the
Oh,
movie
God.
itself. The movie itself, I'm not crazy about the movie itself.
It was
I thought that
horrible.
no, I thought it wasn't bad.
It was horrible.
I thought that
not
he was
good.
very good. I thought that he was very good in it. I also believe that he was very good in 1 Hour Photo, as Johanna mentioned. But one other thing that just wanted to touch on before we moved on was there's a episode of Law and Order SVU where he was a guest star on the show, and he was guest starring as one of the bad guys on the show. The episode's called Authority. So it's very very interesting, very very interesting take on a character. It was like a really really brilliant game of like cat and mouse that he played with the detectives. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, or if you guys are fans of Law and Order SVU. I believe it's like season 9 or 10, something along those lines, where he plays this character. It's only for one episode, but it's one of those 1 Hour Photo Insomnia type of characters where you see this guy who is just known to be a comedian and known to make everybody laugh, and he was capable of like completely turning it on its face and and playing this like really really sadistic, really mean and and just kind of crazy character. So if you guys get a chance, watch that episode. It really does kind of portray like his range as an actor. So
Hey, Malik,
Yeah.
actually, Johanna just reminded me of it for whatever reason. But The Fisher King, I remember, was one of those movies that I really kind of got me sort of thinking different ways about Robin Williams. That came out like right around the early 90s period. And another one that he did that I completely forgot about. So I was looking up The Fisher King right now, and I saw it, and it just The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Did you guys ever see that one?
No.
Not even a little.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I just never saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very strange movie. It was directed by Terry Gilliam, and I think that was one of those movies where I kind of started getting into sort of Terry Gilliam type movies. And I mean, he did Mighty Python, he did Life of Brian, but yeah, so like I started. He was in Brazil. I think. Oh, I don't want to say he was in Brazil because he wasn't actually. But the movie Brazil. So yeah. So Robin Williams started walking me down sort of a strange path as far as my interest in movies goes, and so I feel like he kind of influenced me in that way with movies like Baron Munchausen and The Fisher King.
Cool. Well, I'll definitely check out The Fisher King, and
Yeah.
I hope that not just and this seems to happen with a lot of actors that pass on or whatever, is that like after they passed on, or even entertainers in general, after they passed on, people start to really appreciate what they did by going back and looking at their old catalog of stuff. And this is an opportunity, if people have not heard or have not seen much of Robin Williams, to go back and pay attention to some of the stuff that he's done, because he was really a pioneer in his genre, and he's going to be missed. So that was way too morbid for the comedy episode, but I felt like we had to give him an opportunity and give him a little bit of love. So we're going to jump right into the next portion of our show tonight, and we are going to jump into part 3, which is aptly titled "What's So Damn Funny." So this part, I actually wanted the agents to kind of jump into their lives a little bit and talk about a moment in your life where you found something hilarious, but others did not share the same sentiment. So I know we started with Lorenzo last time, so this time we're going to start with Johanna. Can you name a moment in your life where you laughed Where it was a laugh out loud situation for you, and everybody else kind of looked around like, "What the hell?"
So it's actually funny. This moment involves like a professor who also had this moment, if it makes any sense. I had this professor, and he's just, I guess people find him weird. I find him awesome. I still find him rather awesome, even though I haven't been in touch with him. So he would come to class often, and he would be giggling. And it was usually over something bad that had happened in the news, or something like creepy that he'd read in a book that he was sharing with us. Like he came in once. I was in school in Ohio, and he lived in Cleveland. He was talking about how he had heard that there was a guy on a bicycle with a BB gun trying to shoot people with it. And while he was saying it, he was like giggling the whole time. And it was like this. It was like a gleeful laugh that was also a little nervous. Like he was afraid we would think he was a sociopath, but he wasn't a sociopath. He was just awesome to me. At least I thought he was awesome, because I laughed my ass off every time he did it. But everyone else was looking around like, wait, what's going on? What is this weird professor talking about? Like these dark things. It was really fun. Like he would just sit there and be like, and there's this guy, and he has a BB gun.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I guess, yes, that was a situation where I definitely thought he was funny. I don't think others found it funny, but I think I just found his laugh funny, you know? Like the fact that he was laughing about these things was really funny.
Joe, how about you?
All right, so I had to give this some thought, but have you guys ever played the game Catchphrase before?
No.
I've heard of
Yeah.
it, but I've never played it.
The Catchphrase is like you hold this like a little electronic round disc, and it gives you like topics to talk about, and you have to talk to the other person. You have to give them clues so they can guess the word on the device. So one New Year's Eve, we were playing this. We split the group up into men versus women, and so with the game, there's a timer on it, right? So you keep passing it between groups, and when the timer runs out, you know, whoever's left holding the disc loses, right? So they're passing the disc back and forth, and there's like a little timer, like a warning, like tick, 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 tick. When it speeds up, that means the timer's running out. So somebody on my team handed the disc over, and then when it was time for the disc to come back, refused to take it, just would not grab the disc, and the timer ran out. And then one of the women just like reamed into him, like took it serious and started screaming at him. At that point, I just started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I was laughing uncontrollably for like 20 minutes. The fact that he wouldn't take it, and then the fact that the other woman got really upset, like super upset, was taking the game serious, and I just could not stop laughing. I was laughing for like 20 minutes, and then the people on my team, they started laughing because I was laughing so hard. I just found it funny. The girls didn't find it funny. I found it hilarious. So that was the New Year's Eve catchphrase situation. But yeah, I thought it was very funny.
Lorenzo, how about you?
Let's see. So when I'm in pain, I laugh. Sometimes, if I'm in a lot of pain, I will laugh. And I got hit by a car once, and it was a pretty bad accident. There was, I think you guys have seen some of the scars. And so at one point, I am just kind of deliriously giggling and blood is just dripping from my body, like big splotches of blood are like just hitting the floor. And there are people around me. This is in like Kensington Heights or whatever those neighborhoods are in Brooklyn. Nice, you know, it's like a nice neighborhood. And there's these parents and kids are around, and they're all just kind of circling me, and I am laughing like a maniac. That was the first thing that popped in my head. George Bush giving speeches always used to make me laugh. And he would often be talking about very serious things, and so I would laugh inappropriately when he talked. I just always found everything I mean, just looking at him would make me laugh. And I always felt like it was kind of like the opposite of, how when people are laughing at something and you don't know what they're laughing at, and it's like you don't get the joke. It was sort of like I didn't get the serious of it, Like I didn't understand how anybody could take him seriously. And the Passion of the Christ, for some reason, gave me the giggles.
Made you laugh, really?
Yeah, when the meat is just like flying off of the body.
Did you see this movie in the theater?
Yeah, I did, and yeah.
Did you upset a few people when you were sitting there cracking up?
Well, it's funny because just coincidentally, my aunt was there. Like, I came out of the movie theater, like, kind of laughing the movie off, and and I ran into my aunt who was just crying, and she was like, "My God, did you see that movie? It was so amazing!" And she was just, and I just kind of had to like nod my head up and down.
Well, for me, I think for me it would probably be like, do you guys remember? Now this was some years ago, but do you guys remember there was this rash rash of movies or these like I guess captured videos of like people getting like hit by cars or like people getting hit by trains. Like there was this one where the guy it was like, I guess it was called like Faces of Death or something like, but it was it was
That's
like,
old.
Yeah, it was like this really old thing where they would show like different clips of these videos, these home videos or whatever,
But
of
those
all
are
these
funny.
like crazy things. But it wasn't intentional. It wasn't supposed to be funny. So I would sit there and I would watch it with with people that were like, oh my God, that's so horrible. Like we'd see people get hit by a train or something like that, and like body parts would fly all over the place. And you're watching it and you're sitting there with people that are like, oh, that's so disgusting, that's so horrible, and I am on the floor cracking up laughing. Like, this is the funniest thing I could. It is so funny. Like I'm waiting. Like we're sitting there, and I'm like, wait for it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna. Like I've watched those things over and over and over again, and I continue to laugh at it. It's hilarious.
It's kind of like Final Destination.
It is, but again, Final Destination is one of those movies that it's not supposed to be funny. It's like one of those unintentionally funny. But some of the way that these guys get killed is hilarious. Like I laugh when people fall. I do. I laugh when people fall in the street. It's it's funny to me, especially if they're okay. Like I usually like I'll take like a 5-second, like take a look back, take a quick 5-second check just to make sure that they didn't break anything or whatever. And then once I can verify that they haven't broken anything, then it gets funny. Generally, any kind of situations like that make me crack the hell up. So, and they don't, and usually the people around me don't share the same sentiment. They're like, "Oh my God, you're so horrible." But honestly, it's just comedy. Leave it alone. So let's do the reversed. Is there anything for you guys that other people think is funny or think is hilarious that you just don't agree with? Maybe it's just something that happened or a show that everybody loves that people think is hilarious that you didn't necessarily, that you've watched and you don't think it's funny. Lorenzo, we'll go in reverse order. Lorenzo, how about let's start with you.
Carlos Macias.
You don't think Carlos Mencia is funny?
Carlos Mencia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Carlos Mencia.
I don't get it either.
Full House. Family Matters. That one where the girl was a robot.
Small Wonder?
None of those really did it for me.
I don't think anybody thought that Full House was really funny though. I mean, maybe they thought the little girls were cute, but I don't think anybody thought it was funny.
It wasn't really funny at all.
I don't know, but but definitely. Rated by, I just thought he was just stupid. Did he show at some point too?
You're breaking up, Malik.
Didn't Carlos Mencia get his own show at some point too?
Yes,
he had a show.
did
It's
have
called
his own show.
Mind of Mencia.
Yeah,
That was also
I mean,
not funny.
And he managed to get like all of this love, but then also get all of this, horrible backlash from comedians.
Well, I feel like he kind of claimed being Mexican, and he's not.
He's half Mexican, half
So-
Honduran.
Yeah, we denounced him.
I don't think the Hondurans want him either, though.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like he gets put in with the Mexicans.
That's because he went a little too far with his Latino humor, I think.
And I don't know. I
That's
mean,
what did him in.
and I guess I saw something about some accusations he steals jokes. I think everybody steals jokes. I mean, I just don't think he's funny. That's all. I would watch his show or watch anything and just not understand why people would laugh.
George Lopez accused him of stealing his jokes.
George
Why does that not surprise me?
Lopez. I guess everything's in context, right? Because in San Antonio, George Lopez is hilarious. In New York, not so much.
He's alright.
I think he's funny. I used to love his show.
Yeah, he's not as funny as he is in San Antonio.
Lorenzo, what do you think about Dane Cook?
I don't watch Dane Cook. I mean, I don't watch Carlos Mencias either. I haven't seen much Dane Cook. He was the only thing I really know about him is that he was on. I mean, he was in movies, right? He's been in movies.
Yeah, he's been in a few
I get
movies,
him and Ryan Reynolds confused, I think. But anyway, so he was on an episode of Louie, and that was a really good episode. So that's all I really can say about Dane Cook.
Wait, did Dane Cook do a voice on Planes?
Oh
I
my
think-
God! Jesus Christ, Johanna!
I think only you know the answer.
Everything goes back to Planes.
Someday Aviva will not be 3 years old, and I will no longer be subjected to this, and I will no longer be
You
the-
subjected yourself
Okay.
to it.
How have I subjected myself to it?
Let's just move on. I do not want to get in a conversation about Planes. This is a comedy show.
It's just comedy, Lorenzo. It's just humor.
Yeah.
Well,
Lighten up.
Johanna, actually, we are up to you. So, how about you? Is there anything out there that other people think is hilarious that you just don't buy into?
Will Ferrell. I don't get it. He plays the same character, and he does that little weird voice, and like the eyes and the beady little eyes. Like it just makes me want to punch him in the face repeatedly, and then take breaks in between punching him in the face to punch him in the nuts. So it would be face, nuts, face, nuts, face, nuts. I cannot deal with him.
You didn't like Ricky Bobby?
I don't watch his movies because he's stupid.
Yeah, I mean he's funny. You're wrong, but it's not a big deal. But I saw that movie Boyhood yesterday, and
Wait! I'm sorry. It all comes back to Boyhood now.
well, it's just that in that movie
It comes back to Boyhood.
they
Okay.
have these references to like the 90s and the 00s, I guess, and one of them is the like the main character. He's really depressed, and so he's like going through some shit, and so he's watching YouTube, and he's over and over again he's watching that Funny or Die skit where you got the angry landlady who's like a 3-year-old girl. Come on, you guys have never seen this.
No.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
No, I have seen that. I have.
She's like a 3-year-old. She's collecting rent from Will Ferrell, and he's trying to like, tell her to calm down, and she's like all pissed off and yelling at him and cussing at him. You guys need to watch.
No,
YouTube.
I've seen that. No, I've seen that. That actually is funny. I mean, I don't mind Will Ferrell. I don't mind Will Ferrell sometimes. Will Ferrell, one of my favorite SNL skits. It is one of Will Ferrell's. Is when he plays Alex Trebek, and they do the Jeopardy skits. I think
Damn it, that is good.
I think all of
Sounds
them. I
funny.
think that all of them are great. when they do that, and he does a good job playing that straight character, that straight Alex Trebek character on
That's a
that.
good one.
Joe, what about you?
See, this is where I have to go against you, Malik. I don't like it. I can't laugh when people fall down. I can't laugh. I see somebody fall down. I don't think it's funny. I just saw somebody fall down in the supermarket on Sunday. He slipped right in the produce section and not even a smile. I was like, lucky there was somebody there to help her pick her up.
See, I'm laughing now, and I didn't even see that.
He slipped right in front. And it was the funny thing was, I'll tell you what was funny. The people telling her, stay on the floor. Don't get up.
Yeah.
Don't get up.
That's what they told me when I got hit by the car.
They're like, don't get up. We're going to go get an employee right now. I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, that part was funny. The actual falling, I didn't find so funny.
Not at all. Really?
Not at
Everybody
all.
always like becomes an MD. Like they're like, yes, you must not move your head. You might damage yourself even worse because
I
they
think
saw
they want
that
to-
like on a TV show or something once.
They're like, well, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Anyway.
So Joe, what about for you? What about like when people like intentionally fall or intentionally like, put themselves in situations where they fall or they're slipping or something like that? Like so, for
Wait.
instance, like have you ever seen the show Wipeout?
Now
That's
funny.
different. That's different.
Yeah,
No, so
that
that's
is-
like
that is funny.
intentionally. That's intentionally putting.
That's
themselves in
intentionally
situations-
falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
I'm talking about when somebody's like not expecting it and they fall, like,
What about like America's
Wipeout
Funniest
did-
Home Videos or something like that, where they're recording it? Like that stuff never made you laugh?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that stuff would make me laugh. It does. But I'm talking about like when I see it in person, like somebody fall, like the first thing I'm like, I hope that person's okay. That's what I think about. But when somebody
Right, like American's Funniest Home Video, you're not going to have
All
somebody
those people-
just trip.
yeah, those
Yes,
people
you
are
do.
okay.
No,
Yes,
you
do.
don't. You don't
know-
have people
you,
just
you,
trip.
you know that
It's
they're
kinda
okay.
sad.
But those
You know
people,
that they're
No,
they're
they do something. They
because they
do
wouldn't
something
show the
that-
video unless
Right.
the person was okay.
But
Right,
also,
exactly.
they usually do something funny. Like they do, it's some sort of spectacular trip. It's not just like they slip as they're going down the stairs.
Yeah,
If
in
they
America's Home
slip-
Video, they always
Well,
get
it's got to
show.
make it to the
Like
show.
10
Yeah.
times, and then and they roll and they hit something and something falls on them and they just take it. They take it to the next level. But on the street, you might see somebody just kind of roll their ankle and just kind of crash. It's funny now that I'm saying it, but when it happens, it's not. Okay, it's a little bit funny. I
Let's
give it to
see.
you, Marley. It's a little bit funny.
And I tell you what else is not funny, Malik. A dude getting hit in the balls. That's not funny. And that's what they show. That's what they show a lot on America's Home Videos.
I
is
love
funny.
that stuff.
No, that is true. That is true. I would say this, Johanna, and you obviously will never experience this, but I will say, for any man, once it's happened to you one time, that's it. That is no longer ever funny to you ever again. You watch if it happens to anybody else, that's not
a little
funny.
funny sometimes.
It's not funny when you get grazed, let
It
alone
can't.
hit.
I
No,
cringe.
it's not funny when I get grazed. It's funny when you get grazed.
I cringe every time. So something that others think is funny that I absolutely don't. I honestly, for years, and I mean this is definitely going to come as a shock to a lot of people. For years, I did not think that I hadn't seen an episode of Seinfeld that I really laughed at. I really did. I really would sit there and watch episodes of Seinfeld and just watch them, and was like, I don't understand why people think it's the funniest show ever. I
You
get
need to stop.
I get that I get that it's funny. I get
Hold on,
that
what
there
show?
are some Seinfeld. I get that there are some funny scenes in the show, but to be the funniest show ever, like I think I'd have to laugh at every single episode, at something in every single episode, and I just did it. And for years I did it. I'll say that it wasn't until the show went into syndication and I started seeing the episodes back to back, and they were on like 4 or 5 different channels, that I kind of got addicted to it, and I really did like the show. But even to this day, I would have to say that there's got to be something that I would find funnier than that. Joe, do you think it's the funniest show ever made?
I'm having trouble thinking of something that's funnier.
Okay.
I can tell you that much. Yeah, Seinfeld is hilarious, and it took the best part about Seinfeld. It took the simplest thing and made it funny. It just like took small little things that happen to you every day. It just made it funny. I think that was the real gold in Seinfeld, is that You took four friends, they put them in these situations that seem meaningless, but they turn it into gold. I mean, they make it hilarious, like waiting for a table in a Chinese restaurant. The whole episode took place there. I mean, just them waiting for a table, and they made it funny. Jerry trying to find out if Terry Hatcher's breasts are real. Funny. I mean,
okay, so there's an episode of the show where Jerry's dating this woman and he can't remember her name, but it sounds like a female body part, right? I don't know if you remember this episode.
It sounds like clitoris.
Yeah, he's like she told him her name and he can't remember it, and so like the whole episode, every time he sees her, he's like, "Hey, oh you," and it
Dolores.
It was exactly. He was trying to call. He was calling her Mulva and stuff like that, but he couldn't figure out her name. And I mean, it was funny. Like I laughed, but after a while, I was kind of like, "Is it that funny? Was it that funny? Was it that hilarious?"
What about the episode? What about the episode when Jerry is dating a girl but doesn't want to date her anymore, but wants to date her roommate, and they try to pull off the switch? That episode was hilarious. Him and George thinking at the diner how they gonna pull this off, and George comes.
Oh yeah, they did a montage, right? Where they had
George comes up with the idea of how to pull this off. Oh man! And then at the end, they want to do a menage with him. No! Like, fantastic. That episode was great.
Look, I definitely agree. It was a good show. It's a great show. It's one of the the better shows in television history, and it had a very long run. I just don't know if it's the funniest thing or it's the funniest show that I've ever experienced. I honestly think that there are shows, like, to me, I think I've laughed at what was the other show that the creator Larry David did on HBO.
Okay, that's a close one.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. I truly love Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I have laughed so hard in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've laughed till my stomach hurt, on that show, and I don't remember doing that when I watched Seinfeld. Maybe a part of it is because the whole studio audience thing. I'm not really big on comedies that play to a studio audience.
Well, Curb has the distinct advantage of being on HBO.
Until what was one of the first ones that, I mean, there was MASH back in the day, but what was one of the ones where that trend started happening where comedies didn't have laugh tracks?
Oh.
Come on, Joe, you can answer this.
I don't know. I mean, you had laugh tracks all the way up into the 90s.
I mean, you still have laugh tracks, but there was still have some
shows with have.
I feel like maybe like the Office, maybe, or I don't know what would have been before The Office, but right around that time is when those reality shows started coming in. They started doing that kind of thing. But I mean, the laugh track is just part of situation comedy, Malik.
Yeah, it is. But you know what I think? I think that for me, it's always been a kind of something that leads you to the laughter, right? So it's something that to me, that's why I like stuff like The Office or stuff like Curb Your Enthusiasm, because the comedy comes from what's happening, and you make what's funny to you funny. You know what I mean?
I guess you're just talking about it's old school versus new school type of thing. Not
even that. It's
just though, because
Lorenzo, let me just finish my point. What I'm saying is, if you're in a room with someone, like to me, a lot of what I see is when you go to a comedy show, right, and a comedian tells a joke, if everyone in the room laughs at the joke, usually it elicits laughter from you. Although you may not necessarily have found the joke funny had you been sitting at home watching it on TV. It was because other people started laughing, and I think that it elicits laughter from other people because everybody in the room is doing it. So,
and actually, studies have shown that if you're watching something funny by yourself, you're less likely to laugh, because laughing was kind of developed as this social cue or this social thing. Mm-hmm. So you're more likely to having the laugh track on the TV is the equivalent of tricking your mind into the fact that you're engaging in this communal social activity of watching funny TV.
I'm just saying that when you have if you're gonna say, oh, I don't really like shows that have laugh tracks or that are filmed in front of a live studio audience type of thing, then that's basically all shows before 1991.
I didn't say I don't like them. I said that there's something about them that.
But you see what I'm saying? It's just that's the way it was done. and
The
then
type
they
of
switched the way
humor.
it was
No,
done.
no, I agree. I agree that is the way that it was done. I think that for me, the type of humor doesn't ring to me as organically or doesn't feel as real to me as when I'm laughing at something that does not have that laugh track in it. So I find myself laughing harder at shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm or Entourage or something, something closer to those than I do at Seinfeld or even like one of my favorite shows is The Big Bang Theory, and I feel like I laugh less and less at the show um, because of the fact that there are some of those jokes that where the laugh track happens, the laugh track comes on, and I got the joke, but it just wasn't that funny to me. So I feel like that was the same. It's the same way with me with Seinfeld and shows just like that have the laugh track. I think that that's the piece of it. I think if Seinfeld played on HBO or Showtime or something like that, I would probably love it even more than I do. And I do like the show. I think it's a very good show. It was just something that I never really caught on to it like that.
There's a thing about like the live studio audience thing. I mean, I get your point, but there's also like this interactivity that comes along with actually having a studio audience where, like you take the Cosby Show, and the studio is kind of a character in the show. And I think Seinfeld, especially when you had scenes with Kramer, the studio kind of became the audience influenced the show. Like the comedian, I mean the actors would have to pause for the audience to stop laughing, or they would have a little chance to ham it up while everybody's clapping for them because Kramer is so popular or whatever. And so in some shows, I think it really does work when a show is genuinely funny, and when you have people that are like comedians like Bill Cosby or like Seinfeld, where they are just so in tune with their audience. I think that it kind of feeds the energy.
Right. You're definitely right. You're definitely right. And I mean, there's obviously a reason why it's still practiced to this day in other sitcoms. I just feel like it's just kind of the way I'm wired, maybe, to not laugh when everybody else is laughing and laugh when they're not. So when people fall,
when other people are calling
laugh.
ambulances.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
funny. You talk about the laugh track, and honestly, most of the time I don't even notice it when I'm watching something that does have has a laugh track. Most of the time I don't even notice.
Well, I think that's kind of the intention. Like they don't necessarily need that. I remember for years they used to actually say it like they used to say that. They don't say that anymore. I noticed they don't really say that ever, even for all of these shows now. They don't say it anymore. I mean, it was that. I wonder why that came out of people. It came out of the production company saying that when the shows came on.
Maybe The Simpsons.
Simpsons, yes, definitely. Simpsons could be the first one that was played without.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what started the trend, because that was 20 years ago. Like, I mean, cartoons don't have. Well, yeah, actually, it's not true. Flintstones had a laugh track. So, yeah, I wonder what influence Simpsons had on like not using the laugh track anymore.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to look up. So the last part of this is just a quick rundown. Can you guys name a movie or a show that's usually not considered so unintentionally funny movies to you guys? Things that you have found extremely funny that maybe everybody else found funny too, but they're not really considered comedies. So for me, I'll just use an example. For me, Child's Play, the original Child's Play, to me is a comedy. It's hilarious. I find that movie absolutely hilarious. I think Chucky is one of the funniest characters in movies, especially in horror movies. I think that movie is hilarious. I also think that the original Friday the 13th is funny as all hell too. I think that movie is funny. There's nothing scary about it. There's nothing. Yeah, it's just funny to me. Especially when you find out who the killer is at the end of that very first movie. It's hilarious, and she's got the Christmas sweater on. It's awesome. I think that's just great. So yeah, you guys. Joe, how about yourself? Do you have
You stole mine. You stole it.
I'm sorry.
I have it written right here. Technically, I had any Friday the 13th movie starting with part 2. Is what.
Well, say I didn't take yours. I said the first one.
Right, starting with part 2. I especially liked Jason Takes Manhattan. I remember watching it one night with a friend of mine, and we just cracked up. I just found it hilarious. That movie. The fact that you could run and Jason can walk and he can still pass you somehow. I don't know how that works, how the physics behind that works, but somehow you're taking the ladder and he beats you up to the roof. I don't know how it works, but it's hilarious. Those movies are hilarious, especially the way he kills people are hilarious. Is hilarious. I can't remember the one where I forget which part it was when he takes the guy and stuffs him in his sleeping bag and swings him against a tree. That was hilarious.
Yeah, see, sometimes I don't know if they're intending for those moments to be funny or if they're intending for them to be like gruesome. I have no idea. Like, what was your point of that movie, or what was the point of those types of scenes? You know, some of the Freddy Krueger stuff is absolutely hilarious, and I do believe that Freddy Krueger himself was supposed to kind of be a menacing character in the beginning, and they kind of take him down that comedy route.
Yeah, but by the time they got to part 3, it was strictly comedy, because when he kills the girl at the mental hospital through the TV, when he picks her up, she's looking at the TV, and he picks her up, and he says, "Tune into prime time, bitch," and he pulls her head through the TV.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was
that's
funny.
Great.
And I think that was meant to be funny. You can't say "tune into prime time, bitch," and it can't be. That has to be funny.
Oh man, Lorenzo, what about you? Anything that stands out for you?
Did any of you guys see Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah, that's really old.
I think
Okay.
I've seen it.
Sleepaway Camp, hilarious.
That is really old.
Butterfly Effect, hilarious.
Oh my god! He loses his leg.
Ashton Kutcher doing any kind of acting, hilarious.
Other than comedic acting, do you think he's actually good as a comedic actor?
I think he was good in the '70s Show, and that's all I can really say about that.
I've never seen him in Two and a Half Men. I've never seen Two and a Half Men with him in it.
Live Free or Die Hard, hilarious.
Wait, now
American-
which one is that one? Is that the one
That's the one where they hit
before the last one.
DC.
within DC? Okay.
That's the one where he like turns the gun on himself and shoots himself in the chest and kills the bad guy behind him, which is a move from Tekken. It's like the guy with the sword where he like stabs himself and he'll like attack the person that's behind him. And it's also the one where he jumps on the F-16 fighter jet and he's like takes it down. It's also the one where he like shoots the motorcycle at the helicopter and blows it up.
Yes, I remember that scene.
Yeah, it was
Still
just,
a great movie, though. Still a great movie.
I love it.
I would disagree with the word great, but hilarious, sure. And I think we already talked about it, The Passion of Christ.
Okay.
Hey, you don't have 12 Years a Slave in there?
12 Years a Slave is not funny. We've established this. It is
I just
not
had to hear you say it one more
all
time.
funny.
That goes all the way back to one of our first episodes, people. So if you get a chance, go back and listen to one of our first episodes.
Not
where we have a
necessary.
discussion about 12 Years a Slave and why it's not funny to Lorenzo.
What do you mean? Why it's not? It's not funny. There's no why. It's just not funny at all. There's no comedy in it.
Why he believed that it should have humor in it just at all.
Everything should have a little humor in it, man.
Johanna, what about yourself?
You're the one laughing at Faces of Death.
Yeah, well, look, like I said, look,
The
my
Face of the Death
humor.
was hilarious. It was.
I'll admit my humor is relatively morbid. I don't have no problems admitting this.
Did you laugh at 12 Years a Slave?
No, I didn't.
Exactly my point.
But I didn't expect for it to make me laugh at any point.
Did you expect for Faces of Death to make you laugh?
Actually, I did.
You went into that.
When there's a big sign that tells you don't get out of your car to film the bears, and you get out of your car and film the bears, the bear kills you. That's kind of funny.
No, I mean, like, yes, absolutely. If there's a woman running across a train track and does not look left or right to see if a train is coming, and gets hit by the train, that shit makes me crack up.
Bear.
Okay.
Grizzly Bear is also.
No, don't take mine.
Grizzly Man. Oh, sorry.
You took it.
Go ahead.
Johanna, go ahead. What's your movie?
But I'm glad that you also think it's funny, Lorenzo, because I thought people were going to think I was like a sociopath for bringing it up. The movie Grizzly Man, I'm not sure if the rest of do you guys know Grizzly Man?
Yeah, he gets eaten by the bear.
Yeah. Like, it's not even just the fact that he was a fucking idiot and got eaten by the bear. It's the fact that he gave the bears names. Like, there's Smokey. There's, I think he called her the Michelle Pfeiffer of bears. He's like, yeah, she's really hot. And then he had the pet fox. And somehow he thought the fox actually gave a fuck about him instead of just the food he was giving him. And when the fox disappeared one day, he cried the whole day. I'm sorry, it's so inappropriate. I'm going to hell.
Now, okay, I have to ask this. I have to ask this, Johanna. Did you see this in the theater?
No.
Okay. Did you see this with a group of people?
This is how it happened. My younger brother also has a very morbid sense of humor, and his wife has like a crazy sense of humor. They watched it first, and they're like, "Oh my God, Johanna, you have to see this." So I watched it with my husband. They're like, "This is the funniest thing," and to this day, we still make funny references to the things that happen in the movie.
Oh my gosh, the bear, Miss Chocolate, has left me her
Yeah,
poop.
Miss Chocolate.
It's
Yeah.
like crap. It was just in her butt and it's still warm.
It's her gift to me. This is my gift from Miss Chocolate.
All these guys that hang out with animals, they end up getting killed. Like the Grizzly Man. I don't know if you remember the movie Born Free, where the woman was with the tigers or lions or whatever. The lions ate her. This is all true stories.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then,
wow.
yeah, and then what you call it? Irwin, he gets killed by a stingray. All these people that love animals, they all end up getting killed by them.
Like, where was I trying to go with this? Like, the narration by Werner Herzog is kind of funny, too, because I think there's some dark part of him that is also laughing, but he's very dry. He's like, and then Timothy Treadwell missed the last date to get out of the tundra. And, you know, like it's obviously he wants to be like, fucking idiot. Jesus.
I actually think Werner Herzog has a deadpan delivery about him. He tells serious things, and it just his delivery.
Stop making love to my
comes
computer.
across funny. His delivery comes across very funny to me.
He is. I mean, even the fact that like he puts the headphones on and listens to the like audio track, and he takes it off and he says, "You must never let anyone listen to this." You know, like on the one hand, you're like the first couple. Okay, I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times. The first couple of times, you're like, "This is serious," and then the 4th or 5th time, and you're like, "Come off it, guy." All right.
So Johanna, do you own this movie?
I don't, because I think it's still available on Netflix.
Okay. Is this a movie that like you're sitting down, you're having a dinner party, you're sitting down, and somebody's like, hey, I want to see a comedy. Let's watch a comedy. Do you even think about suggesting Grizzly Man? Do you consider this?
It would depend on the group of friends. But if I suggested it to any of my friends, they would expect it. This would be something they would expect, and some of them would. I'm sorry, my cat is trying to make love to my computer. Get off.
Cue the porn music, Malik.
We'll add it in post. Sorry. So all of my friends know that I would bring something up like that, and maybe half of them would take me up on it, and the other half would be like, "That's Johanna."
See, and that's where the laugh track comes in. See, exactly the laugh track comes in. Let's watch Grizzly Man.
I mean, I think it's hilarious. Also, just as a small addition, in the movie Titanic, when that guy falls off of the stern or the
and
bow,
he hits the propeller.
The propeller.
Oh God!
Every time, it makes me laugh.
I will definitely have to say that scene right there. Watching that movie, I think I almost got kicked out of the theater watching that movie because like that's like one of those things where like the boat is going down. It's you could hear a pin drop in that theater when that stuff is going on, and like people are crying and people are so sad, and this dude falls off and he hits the propeller. I kid you not, I laughed the loudest laugh that I could ever laugh. And I almost got, I mean, like literally, you know, I had women turning around telling me to shut the F up, like cursing me out.
You were that guy. You were that black guy.
What? What does that even mean?
The guy that's like all loud at the theater when you like want to tell him to shut up, but you're scared because he's black.
Well, these women certainly told Malik off. So I don't think they were scared of him. But I mean, the little man makes that little noise, you know?
Like,
He goes, no, it's ping. It's ping. Like, come on. It was designed to make you laugh, no? Ping. Like right off the propeller. Oh.
look, she's laughing right now. Just thinking about it is cracking you up. We lost our host.
Oh, there he is.
He's back.
Oh, I thought he hung up in like anger.
I mean, considering the things you've said on this show, like that was pretty mild. So I don't think he would leave because of that. Because you called him the loud black man at the theater.
Oh, I was watching the so you know the scream that they always use in the movies, the Wilhelm scream? Joe, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Ah, no.
No, it's more like a nah.
Oh my God, Kat.
Joe, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Wah! Like that. Ah! They've used it like in Star Wars, like I think like every Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and yeah. I was wondering if they used that scream for Titanic.
No, but there were a lot of funny screams in that movie. Like just like when the people would like when they would try to like hold on to things, they go. Ah!
Oh, you know what they do have though? They have like on YouTube they have scenes that should have had the Wilhelm scream in them. And Titanic,
oh, yeah.
Titanic is one of those.
Also, oh gosh.
Oh my God, they did it for The Godfather.
There's this one woman in. Yeah.
I'm gonna send this to you, Joe, because you would appreciate it. What is going on with our show?
I don't have any Malik. You're gonna have a lot of editing to do.
I always have a lot of editing to do. Where are you? Oh, you're Agents at Helm.
Yeah.
Here, look, I'm sending this to you right now.
Now let's see if Malik is back for real now.
And Johanna, this is a Wilhelm scream.
Okay. Let me look at this.
Malik.
Can I like listen to stuff while I'm on Hangouts? Cause
Yeah, as long as you got your headphones on, I don't think we'll hear it.
oh fuck Zac Efron! Oh my God. Sorry.
What is up with Malik? Keeps joining and dropping. Oh, I'm seeing the preview for Boyhood now. 12 years in the making.
Holy shit! Oh no!
Man, she just can't stop.
watching. I think we're like watching the exact same minute because we were laughing at the exact same
She
time.
just keeps hitting. Every time he hits one. My favorite is the gladiator one.
Yeah, that was funny.
That scene is so sad. But they made it so funny.
The Godfather one is pretty funny too.
Oh my god.
Joe, you didn't laugh at all during that?
No, I just put it on just now.
Oh. You're late to the show.
I haven't laughed. Yeah, we need to put it up when we post the episode. Don't make me laugh.
Put it in the mix.
Every single one of them.
Gladiator.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
All right.
Hey, Malik.
Dude, what happened, Malik?
I have no idea. I have no clue what happened. Do you guys know? Or did you? It was just me, right?
Yeah, it was just you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
We thought it was, after Lorenzo made his, you were the, you're that black guy in the theater, the loud black guy in the theater. I thought right after he made that comment is when you disconnected.
I didn't even hear him say that. I would have cracked up if he said that. I did not hear him say that. Wow. Yes, and you know what? And in that situation, yes, I absolutely was. All right, so I will. All right, so we're gonna skip part 3. Go straight to part 4. All right, guys. So I wanted to jump to the next part of our episode, which is we're gonna talk some sitcoms, some sitcoms, and some sitcom moms and dads. So really quick, really brief. I want you guys to do a quick rundown of your favorite sitcom mom and dad tandems, and whose family would you have wanted to be a part of in sitcom history? Johanna, let's start with you.
So there really wasn't much of a choice for this one. I chose the Bankses. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
I have seen it. I love it. I just don't know what other answer there is other than the Bankses. I mean,
you would be rich.
Well, yeah, you can't. I'm sorry, and the rule was you cannot use the Cosbys or the Bradys. Sorry, I did put that in there.
But I want to live with the Bankses with Dark Aunt Viv. Okay, the original Aunt Viv. The original Aunt Viv. So
the one that didn't like Will.
Did I not what?
The one that didn't like Will. Well, that was the reason why she got kicked off the show, right? Because she didn't. Apparently, she got kicked off the show because she didn't get along with Will, and
she still hates him. She called him the devil on a radio show last year. So
amazing. Wow. Talk about grudges. Talk about holding grudges.
The hate is deep. The hate is deep.
What did he do?
But I mean, you have to imagine a show that made. Although, was that show ever like an ensemble piece? Like, I feel like it was about Will from the beginning.
Pretty much.
It was. I mean, he's the only one in the credits, in the opening credits, pretty much.
It's called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About him.
So,
star.
I don't know. Maybe she thought that, he was getting too much attention.
But then
anyway,
didn't you kind of feel like he was getting too much attention, too?
What do you mean?
If you were part of that family, you would always feel like you were playing third or fourth fiddle to Will Smith.
But, I mean, haven't you gone in there from the get-go knowing that is the lay of the land?
Well, you have to remember at the time he was rapper turned actor. I mean, it wasn't like he had a ton of things under his belt.
No, I'm talking about being his. Okay, so
no, she wanted to be in the family, right? You're talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the fictional
family because you are a natural blood. Your blood. Those are your parents, and yet the one that's getting all the attention is the cousin or whatever he is.
I would use him to help people sneak into parties and do crazy dance routines, and I would just sit back and just hear him say stupid shit to entertain me. I don't need much else in life. Look, I just need to be entertained. And Hillary's going to take me shopping, and Carlton's gonna teach me stupid dance moves, and Ashley's gonna be my little sister. Yeah. Oh, and Jeffrey. Jeffrey will snark on everything I do and everything everyone else does, and we'll drink tea together. So.
That works. That definitely works. Lorenzo, what about you? Any families, any sitcom families you wanted to be a part of?
Well, we mentioned it earlier. Like Happy Days was one of the first sitcoms that that's what I thought a family was supposed to be, and my family was definitely not that. So I probably would have traded my family for Happy Days family any day, because then you get the Fonz, and I think I had like a little crush on Joni.
Joni.
Yeah, I had a little crush on Joni, so I'd get her for her sister. Wait, that sounds messed up.
This is a Cersei Jamie Lannister thing.
But I wouldn't want to be that brother that went to Vietnam and then just like disappeared or whatever. That would suck. No. I love Fred Flintstone. I think he would be a good dad. Well, he was a good dad to Pebbles. He was a very sweet father, caring, and he always cracked me up because he was so loud and upset all the time, but yet totally harmless. And I always thought that Wilma was I don't know. I always liked her in the way she was a strong woman. And then you got Betty, who was a total MILF, so that'd be a good family too. Yeah. So those two families. Oh. And I would have liked to have been Little Ricky. I thought.
Little Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, I know things
God.
didn't. I know things didn't end well with his parents, but still, it would have been great while it lasted.
Joe, what about you?
All right, so when I look at this question, the first family that came to mind were the Keatons. I used to love Family Ties, so I would like to be part of the Keaton family, and I'd have Alex Keaton as my older brother. He's going to be rich, so at least I have a rich brother somewhere. And my parents. Oh my God, I can't remember Michael Gross's name on the show, but yeah. Having them as parents, you pretty much get away with anything because they didn't believe in violence, so you weren't going to get a beat down.
Yeah, they were hippies.
Yes, they were hippies.
He worked at a public
PBS station. Yeah, he worked at a PBS station. Yeah, I knew you're not going to get your ass whipped if you do anything. They're just going to give you like a stern talking to. So I would have much preferred the stern talking to than what I actually got as a kid. So yeah, that and maybe the Seavers. Oh my God.
Alan Thicke was so annoying. He would have got on my nerves. I think I would have been a bad kid.
As long as we've got each other.
That's right. So yeah, the Seavers or the Keatons, one of those two. But I would lean more towards the Keatons.
Okay, nothing wrong with those two. Those are some iconic families. I think for me, there's two families that stick out for me. The Tanners. And I don't know if you guys remember the Tanners. The Tanners was the family from Alf.
Totally not funny show.
No, not from Full House. Not Danny Tanner. I am talking about the Tanners, the Tanner family from the show Alf. I want to be part of that family. I want to be part of that family just because I want Alf in my family. I want to have Alf. Like, he's not going to eat me. He's an alien. He's not going to eat me. He wants to eat the cat, which is perfectly fine. And like, I think I would have a shitload of fun with Alf. Like, he and I would hang out together and we would have a great time. And then the other family for me, and I'm surprised nobody picked him. I want to be a Bundy. I want to be a Bundy. I want to be part of that family.
You want to be broke? You want to be broke?
I'm already broke, so it doesn't matter. Like,
to be more broke?
I already know what that's like. So, but at least like the Bundys, they as much as they cracked at each other, as much as they made jokes about one another, as much as they seemed to not give a damn about each other, they really did care. Whenever one of them was in a bind, the other ones would come through and help. You could never mess with Kelly Bundy if Bud Bundy was around. Like, Bud Bundy was the only one that could call his sister stupid. Like, the one thing about that family, although like they treated each other like crap to their faces, you know, they definitely did love one another, and the relationship between all of them was great. And you know, look, I don't have to do much in order to be, you know, the breadwinner of the family. So I could, you know, I could go be a cop, and like I'd be the best, I'd make the most
Shoe
money in the
salesman.
family. Exactly. But we'd have fun. We'd have fun cracking on people. We'd have fun crack. How many people have jokes on their neighbors? Like jokes to honestly tell on their neighbors, and have no trouble actually, you know, just ripping in on the things that their neighbors do or say. Like, you know, I think Al Bundy would make a great dad, just because he's not gonna hold his tongue. He's gonna say whatever the hell he wants to say, and he's funny, and we're gonna have a great time. My friends will always be at that house, at my house, if I was one of the Bundys. I feel like I would have a great time. So those would be my two, if I got the chance to choose. Joe, we're gonna
I
go
would
back
assign
to
you to the Evans.
the
Like,
Evans. Who are the Evans family?
from Good Times.
No, I don't want to be that. See, that's another one. JJ bothered me. I didn't like JJ.
Dynamite.
I love JJ.
I couldn't stand him.
But man, James, he scared the shit out of me. His dad.
Yeah.
Was it John Amos?
John Amos, yeah.
That's
He
why
was a scary
killed him on the
motherfucker.
show.
Yeah, I was not crazy about. I mean, I like the intro song though. The intro song was
Yeah,
actually
the
cool.
sister was
I did-
hot too.
I did consider
Yeah.
the Jeffersons. I wouldn't mind being a Jefferson, because again, that's another one where, you know, the father would have been really fun to be around.
Oh, and hello, Janet Jackson. You would have had her for a sister. That's right.
See, but I don't want her to be my sister.
That would have been
I'm
his
not like
sister.
you.
Not if he was on the not if he was on the Evans family, because she was Wallona's daughter.
That's right. Yeah. So you're good, man.
Penny.
You're in the clear.
All right, yeah, then I'd consider it. But no, I don't want to be part of the Evans family. They
Had fun.
Me
Those
and
guys
JJ,
had a lot of fun. I would consider it because they were always having a good time.
JJ and I
Yeah,
That's why
would
they
you
call it
could've-
good times.
You could have stopped Penny from getting burned by the iron before, you know. Well, that's how she got in the show, right? Yeah, that's when Walona adopted her. Yeah, okay.
So,
Right now.
Joe, we're gonna come back to you. If your family
Yeah.
were a sitcom, what would it be called? Your family
All
life.
I'm gonna do my whole because my family's small. I would call it War in the Family. War in the Family. Because I can't remember the last year that everybody in my family, we're talking less than 10 people, everybody in my family was talking to each other. So I can't remember the last time that happened. There's always somebody not talking to somebody, unfortunately. That's why I would call it War in the Family.
Johanna, what about you?
Oh my God. So, my family's insane. If you guys are listening, you know that you're insane. So, some of these things that I'm going to talk about are like things that actually happened, but they're going to happen in the sitcom too. I would name our sitcom American Sancocho. Sancocho is like a kind of soup. You know what soup it is, Joe.
I know, I'm just saying.
It's a soup that has like all sorts of different things because of all the different cultures in our, like, you know, American, Salvadorian, Puerto Rican. Like, my husband would be the white guy who's more Puerto Rican than his wife. Like, there'd be a scene where he like karaoke's like Ricky Martin with like a random Hispanic guy and like someone in my family. There would be an episode where like my younger brother goes on search for Café Bustelo, like in his tiny town in Pennsylvania, and then has to resort to desperate measures to get his coffee. Like, my older brother would start like a Tough Mudder team called Soul Glow, because we've talked about doing
God.
that.
Soul Glow.
Oh, just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow, baby. Make it all so silky smooth, and just let it shine through, yeah. Just let your soul glow. You guys knew that was gonna happen, right?
Did not know that.
Chocolate.
Sexual chocolate. You guys understand that that's like one of my favorite movies, right? There actually, this happened in The Office. I was wearing like a velvet jacket, and I was walking with Taylor to the elevator, and Taylor's like, "I like your jacket. What is it, velvet?" And I was like, "Oh my god, you get me." Do you guys remember that?
You'd been
Yes.
probably came in wearing that jacket just so somebody could say exactly that to you. Went to the store, saw it, was like, yeah, I'm buying this because of that reason.
That was the funny part. Like, I just was not expecting that. All of a sudden, Taylor says, "What is this, velvet?" All right, hold on. Let me finish with my sitcom. We try to do the Tough Mudder, but we'd all eat too many pupusas, and we wouldn't be able to go on. A pupusa is like a stuffed tortilla that Salvadorians eat. Like, my mom would try to teach salsa to my husband's mom, but she'd also be trying to learn Irish step dancing. But most of the humor would be, like, over having 6 kids in the same room at the same time. Like, Aviva would be, like, the boss, and then 2 of my nieces would be, like, her enforcer. Like, the 2 youngest would be, like, the cute babies. My nephew Sal would be the one who always says something funny. Like, this one time we went to IHOP, and he kept holding up strips of bacon and saying, "Is this bacon? Is this bacon?" My oldest niece would be the one who always figures out the solution to everything. And most importantly, every week, Aviva would do an awesome dance number for no reason.
So I'm assuming Aviva would be the star of your show.
I kind of feel like she might be. I thought it was me, but damn, I think it's my daughter.
She'd probably take the cake. Like, it'd be
Yeah.
you in the beginning. It'd be you in the beginning, just like on the Cosby Show when Olivia came on, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, she's so cute. She's the best thing ever." And then nobody cared about Bill Cosby anymore.
Yeah, pretty
Are
much.
you talking Raven Simone?
Yeah.
I had already stopped watching the show by then.
See, you lost. You would have lost out.
Yeah, that's when they jumped the shark on Cosby Show.
Lorenzo, what about you? What would your family life as a sitcom be called? I guess it's just you and your son, right? Or
I think it'd be called something like growing up with dad, or parenting for dummies, or no sleep till Brooklyn.
Oh.
that's a nice one.
And yeah, and so it would be like, it would start off with the father and the son, single dad, and them packing up all their hopes and dreams and getting in a van and driving to New York, knocking the rear view mirror off the side of the car as they're going over the Verrazano Bridge, and having to hang the kid out the window to make right turns so that they can make it to pack all their stuff in, and then the dad having to like move everything in on his own because he's just got the stupid 6-year-old with him. He can't move anything. Like, if anything, the kid is like the dad's trying to move a sofa and the kid's sleeping on the sofa while the dad's trying to move it, and so it'd just be like them trying to make it in the big city.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be a good show.
That sounds like the exact opposite of Who's the Boss. Do you guys remember the show Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
With Tony Danza and Sam.
Yeah, except he took his kid out of Brooklyn to Connecticut. You brought your kid to Brooklyn.
Right. So, yeah. Exactly.
Well, Brooklyn back in the '80s wasn't necessarily the best place to be. So
Yeah.
now you can come back. That's okay. Unless if you pay attention to what Lorenzo said during his stand-up, you probably don't want to spend too many nights in Brooklyn. Certain parts, right?
East New York is still a little sketchy. Not quite gentrified yet.
Not yet. Okay. So yeah, I think my show would probably be called I Can't Win. And that's definitely going to be the name that would be the name of my family sitcom. Because as many people probably know, or as many dads probably know, in most situations, when you have a family, you don't win. You don't get what you want. You almost never get what you want in most situations. So if the 3 of you want to go to a movie, dad usually has to concede and go see the movie that mom and the kids want to see, or just the kids want to see. If the choice is where do we go to eat dinner, it's generally dad can't win there either. Dad can't go get a steak because we have to go somewhere where the kids can eat pizzas and make their own pizzas. If you want to go, if you just have a day to do something that you want to do, maybe you just want to sit up and read a book on a nice Saturday afternoon, sit out on your terrace and read a book. Well, you can't do that because you got to take kids to the park, and the kids love running around the park. They want to get crazy and they want to get sweaty, and then they want to get sweaty with you. So of course, Dad winds up having to take the kids to the park. Dad can't win, so that would be the name of mine. I can't win. My sitcom would be. I definitely would not be the star of my own sitcom. The kids would be the star of the sitcom.
Because you can't win.
Because I can't win, and that would be. I might be the lead name on the title, but I definitely would not be the star of the show. So the last part of today's podcast, we wanted to take a quick stab at some of the spin-offs that have come from different comedy shows in the past, and so I have a list here of about 6 spin-offs 6 shows and their spin-offs. And I wanted you guys to kind of touch base on, which ones you think is better. So, Joe, we're going to start with you. I figure this one's more up your alley. Now, this isn't technically a spin-off of itself in its own, but it's definitely a show that kind of feeds off of another one. So we're going to do the Honeymooners versus the King of Queens. Which one is the better show?
Okay. So I own both of these, the entire series for both of them, the Honeymooners and King of Queens. This is tough. I love them both, but I probably would end up going with King of Queens.
Really?
Only because I think it lasted. There's really, for the Honeymooners, there's really the original 39. The original 39 episodes, which they show all the time on PIX here in New York. When you see the marathons, they show those 39 episodes. Again, it's only 39 episodes, and those episodes are fantastic. King of Queens gave me 9 seasons of, for the most part, some hilarious episodes. So that's why I would go with King of Queens, only because of longevity. I think altogether, it's just as funny. And I still watch King of Queens. It's on syndication, so it's always on. We watch it here. My family and I, we watch it all the time. So I would probably go King of Queens.
Who would you say is the better lead?
Well, I mean, it's between Kevin James and Jackie Gleason, right?
Yeah.
I would probably go with Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason has contributed so much that a lot of people don't know to television and movies and to the industry in itself. Jackie Gleason brought so much to the industry, where I don't think Kevin James brought as much. I think Jackie Gleason's probably, Jackie Gleason's is a funny guy, and he came up with a lot of the ideas for all the shows and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jackie Gleason.
Okay. Lorenzo, we're going to jump to you. I don't know if you know these sitcoms well. I hope you do. We're going to do Cheers versus Frasier.
Are you freaking kidding me? First of all, that last question was stupid because obviously it's not King of Queens. King of Queens is one of those.
Why don't you answer the question?
King of Queens is one of those shows that I watch and is not funny. Whereas The Honeymooners is a classic. If you say, I think,
I'm going to go with Cheers.
I think that Kevin James didn't. I think that Kevin James didn't contribute as much as Jackie Gleason. You think that really?
I know.
You think that?
Cheers over Frasier. I'm going to answer the question for you.
To answer your question,
Frasier.
Yeah, I would have to go with Cheers. Either Woody or Coach. Definitely Diane and not Rebecca, although I think her name was Rebecca. Joe?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Although at the time I used to hate Diane. She used to drive me fucking nuts because she was just always fucking everything up.
Yeah.
But man, she. In retrospect, I realize now that was what made it funny, and and Rebecca, I thought she was really hot. And so like she had that going for her. But again, in retrospect, over time, Diane definitely was the stronger of the two. Frasier, funny show.
Okay. No, Frasier's definitely a funny show. I realized Frasier lasted a very long time for a show that I didn't necessarily think was the funniest show in the world. It definitely had a great following though.
I think it lasted longer than Cheers, or just
So-
as long as
Well,
Cheers.
that comparison was not as stupid as the previous one. But go on. Moon. Go on.
Johanna, so I know that you said you didn't get a chance to see a lot of these shows. So would you like to pick one of the other 4 that we chose that you did see? Well, actually, you did say that you've seen Family Matters, right? So
Yes.
so we'll say Family Matters versus Perfect Strangers. Now,
I've seen both of them.
you've seen both. Okay.
Yes.
Did you know that one was a spinoff of the other?
Kind of.
Okay.
I know that like the mom in Family Matters was in Perfect Strangers.
Right.
Right?
She had a very small role in Perfect Strangers as the elevator operator in the building that they worked in. I believe
Yeah.
it was they worked in. And
I thought it was the cop from Die Hard. I thought Perfect Strangers and Family Matters were both spin-offs of Die Hard.
I don't think Perfect Strangers. Well, no, I don't think anybody from Perfect Strangers was in Die Hard though.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Yeah. No, but yeah, Family Matters. So they gave her own show after
Harriet.
after Harriet did done so well and tested so well on Perfect Strangers, they gave her own show. So initially, her.
I don't know if
and
they gave her her
Reginald
own
Vel-
show.
Well, yeah,
Reginald
initially,
Vel Johnson seemed to be like have more more of the
initially,
star on that show.
initially the show was supposed to be about Harriet and her family, right? And so they were supposed to be the stars of the show. Her and Reginald Vel Johnson were supposed to be the stars of the show. And then the show was failing. It was not doing very well. It was not testing very well, and it wasn't getting a lot of that following until it
Urkel?
started. Well, really, it started when the show started becoming more kid centric. When it started to actually focus on the children, Laura and Julie and
Eddie.
I believe it was.
Yeah,
And then once Urkel came in, Urkel of course was supposed to be a one-shot character for one episode, and that character just blew up, and they had to bring him back, and then and eventually the show became the Urkel show. So Johanna, but I say all this to say, you knew it was you've seen both. So Perfect Strangers versus Family Matters. Which one to you is the funnier or the better show?
I like Family Matters better. Perfect Strangers, I think it's because, like, I mean, especially since I was young when it came out, like, I obviously could relate more to, like, the younger characters. Like, Perfect Strangers was just 2 adult guys, and Balky was funny, but it wasn't something I really could relate to. And, like, I thought Urkel was funny until, like, they did that whole, like, mad scientist thing where he turned into like Stefan and all this weird shit, and like Myra, and nobody had time for that. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, kids used to make fun of me at school and call me Urkel, but they were just idiots. It did not take away from my love of the show.
Okay. Or your love of books.
Loving books does not make me a nerd, because it would also make you a nerd.
I think we're all nerds here, Johanna. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much that's pretty much a given. That's why we do our podcast. Anyway.
No, but I mean, Lorenzo was calling me a nerd.
I didn't call you a nerd.
And clearly,
He said my love of books.
clearly,
See?
Johanna takes offense to that.
No. You know what? I went back to school, to grade school, and I'm apologizing to everybody.
She's about to whoop your ass, Lorenzo. She's about to whoop your
Yeah,
ass.
I'm sorry. The Puerto Rican was about to come out. Excuse me? But no, I love books. We all love books. We are all nerds. We're all happy nerds.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna flip it real quick, and instead of going to Joe, I'm gonna go to Lorenzo. Lorenzo, Different Strokes versus Facts of Life.
Ridiculous question.
How is that ridiculous? Well, I don't see how it's a ridiculous question.
Hold on, wait. Was it again? Different Strokes, Facts of Life.
Different Strokes, Facts of Life. I'm not giving you the
Miss
other
Garrett.
one.
Yes, Miss Garrett. I love me some Miss Garrett. I'm gonna go Different Strokes. Facts of Life was great. It definitely had staying power. I definitely watched it just to watch Tootie grow as a person.
But Different Strokes.
So is it Different Strokes?
Nobody gets that joke, really? Okay.
No, I absolutely get that.
Okay.
Kim Fields.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, you gotta go with Drummond and the two boys. Yeah, Arnold was just a constant source of amusement for me when I was a child. And then you know, when you're a kid, I mean, they do it for you. You know, like that was when wasn't wasn't that Sam that was in that was on that show, or Joey? I for,
What?
they added a white boy to the show.
A little kid.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like it was Sam. I mean Joey. I keep calling him, but it might not have been. Remember Joey?
Maybe it was Sam.
Is it Sam?
Joey Lawrence?
No.
Was Sam Joey Lawrence, or I don't
I don't remember. By that time, I
this was a
stopped
long-
watching it.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. But
Yeah, it was Sam. The kid
So
was Sam.
okay, yeah. So when you're a kid, you know, it's like, oh, they added another kid, and you think it's cool. So I didn't mind that either when they added him at the time because I was just a little kid. So what the hell did I know about hackery?
Okay. Joe, we are going to go All in the Family versus the Jeffersons.
I'm gonna go with the Jeffersons.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
back
gonna
in
go with the
Joe on that one.
Jeffersons, even though they had like 10 Lionels, the original Lionel, then the new Lionel, then the old Lionel became the new Lionel again, and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll probably go with the Jeffersons. I probably watched the Jeffersons more than I watched All in the Family.
Yeah, me too.
Now, in the same vein as Honeymooners versus King of Queens, do you go Archie Bunker or George Jefferson?
It's a tougher call.
Yeah, it's tougher. I mean, they both had their prejudices
Oh
against
yeah.
each other, definitely, and it's the kind of humor that unfortunately you don't see on TV anymore. I kind of miss that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, where everything's not so PC like it is now.
hmm
But yeah, I'm still gonna stick with George. George had the walk. He had the
did have
walk. He had the walk. He had the swagger. And he thought he had his house under control.
Yeah, I'd also go Wheezy over Edith.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
well.
Weezy was funny, and you can't leave out Florence. Florence was hilarious.
Yes, Florence was great.
She was
Florence was
hilarious.
great.
The maid that didn't do any work.
I never really liked What's Her Face, and I never really liked Meathead. The two of them. I didn't like them.
Well, I think they just played
Maybe
well.
Rob
off of-
Reiner. Rob Reiner and
and what's her name?
The daughter.
The one that collects all the food and then eats it on South Park.
Edith Bunker.
No, not Edith. The one that played
Sally
the daughter. I
Struthers.
can't remember.
Sally Struthers.
Yeah, remember there was a South Park episode where she gets she's like she does those commercials where it has like
For
the
all the
Ethiopians
kids.
or whatever, and then she eats all the food herself.
Yeah.
That's the one with Starvin' Marvin.
Yes, I do remember Starvin' Marvin.
I'm always gonna remember Sally Struthers. She in the '80s she always did these infomercials for the cost of a cup of coffee.
That's what we're talking about right now,
Is
Joe.
that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You're talking
but-
about South Park.
But South Park made fun of it. Yeah.
Her. They
Yeah.
made fun of her with that.
The cost of a cup of coffee. You can support an entire village here. Whatever. Support a kid. They'll send you pictures. They'll be signed. They'll show you. You'll see their progress. Like, oh my God.
I don't want a stinking picture.
Oh my God.
If I'm funding this kid's education, I want report cards. I want like video. I want video showing me what my kid's doing, and I want him to be a basketball player. Like I wanted to be able to shape what he did. Okay.
Or track runner. How about track?
Well, see, I want to be able to choose it, right? So I want to be like, if I'm picking, I want to control his fate. Like I want to pay that money. I want to pay that money. It was like I want him to be a lawyer because when I go to jail, I'm gonna need representation. So I need you to make that kid a lawyer for me.
They portrayed Sally Struthers like Jabba the Hutt. South Park. Oh man.
So for the last comparison, I'm going to make this an Agents Free for All. It's probably one of the most popular original versus spin-offs. and it's the Cosby Show versus a different world. So I know Lorenzo obviously believes that there is no comparison here. But I would venture to say that, for some people, there may very well be a comparison to be made between these two. Now, clearly, the spinoff is Denise, the eldest child of the Cosbys, goes to college.
Technically,
college.
she is not the eldest.
She wasn't the eldest. Well, no, I'm sorry. Sandra was the eldest. No, nobody cared about Sandra. Anyway, so I cared more about Elvin than Sandra. Anyhow, the second eldest of the Cosby children goes away to college, to the same college that her father and mother attended, Hillman, and Different World is the show that starts out about Denise and her times and adventures in Hillman, and became a completely different show where Denise wasn't even involved in it. She eventually went back to the Cosby Show while a Different World continued on. So
yeah, she left the show after one season or something like that. It was ridiculous.
And then a Different World just became like its own show, at Hillman, and what was going on there. So it wound up like finding a life of its own, which I did like. It didn't have to be a spin-off of it. It started out as a spin-off of the Cosby Show, and then it became a completely different show all in of itself, and it had no real reference back to the Cosby Show once Denise was gone. So with all that context, I want to say Cosby Show versus a Different World. Johanna, let's start with you.
I'm sorry, you guys. I've never seen either of those.
Oh my God!
You know what? We're just going to skip.
Oh my God!
We're just going to skip. I don't think this should be a bash Johanna moment. I hope that we don't do this.
Wait, what? Bash
I don't want this to be a bash Johanna moment because I have a feeling
You guys go ahead. I deserve it.
Lorenzo's going to take it. Lorenzo's going to go somewhere with this.
You don't know. Okay, so first of all, the disgust that I felt at the question itself has just been matched by my disgust of Johanna's television illiteracy. I will give money to Sally Struthers if she will introduce you to television, Johanna. What the hell is going on here, Joe?
I don't know.
You got Malik trying to compare the Cosby Show to a Different World, and then you got Johanna, who's never even heard of either one of them.
I have heard of them, damn it.
Johanna, do you know who Bill Cosby is?
We jumped the shark. That's it. We've jumped the shark, Joe.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Sorry, you guys. I know who Bill Cosby is. I know the Cosby Show.
Bully for you, Johanna. Bully for you.
I know what's his face and Felicia Rashad, and I know Lisa Bonet, and I know Malcolm Jamal Warner.
That's great.
And I know there's a guy in a Different World called Dwayne.
So you've never seen an episode of either one of these shows?
No.
Wow. I find that amazing. I really do. I really find that amazing.
Not even in reruns. This is amazing.
I'm sure we have just learned something so new. You've learned something.
You guys,
it's awesome.
I'm so sorry.
It's great. No,
add that to the list. You've never seen Grease. You've never seen Saturday Night Fever. I mean,
we should make a list.
You've never seen the Cosby Show.
Johanna has not seen. The stuff that is ridiculous that she has not seen.
Look,
there's plenty of books Johanna reads that I've never read, and I'll just realize that there's so many shows that I've seen that she has completely avoided. So
you see, I haven't avoided. It's not like I'm like, oh, like I'm actively avoiding it. It's just I spend a lot of time reading.
You said you
ever
didn't see
seen Sesame Street? You ever see that?
I have a 3-year-old.
It's got letters in it.
Still, it's a good question.
That's what it takes for her to watch something. Is that the characters have to be letters.
I don't feel bad now at all about misunderstanding you earlier. I feel like we are square. I've just, you know what, you guys, like, not to have a Full House moment here or anything, but I get a lot of like. Yes, I have seen that show.
Okay, just making sure.
But you guys like help me keep my pulse on like pop culture. You know,
well, we're not doing a very good job.
Like I would have never seen Dawn of the Planet of the Apes without you, and I wouldn't be watching The Expendables 3 tomorrow. Like, you know, so thank you guys. But you know, I'm still learning.
I think Cosby's on Netflix. Watch an episode or something, or at least try.
I think you'll enjoy it. That's all I'll say. I really think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think that I haven't like avoided these shows because I don't think I would like them. I've never had the time to sit down and watch them. So
I'm pretty sure you've had the time, Johanna. At some point in your life, you've had an extra 30 minutes where you could have sat down and watched like one of the most important sitcoms in television history.
Look, I went to a hippie college for like 5 years, and I didn't own a TV for a long time after that. Okay, I only just recently owned a TV 5 years ago, and even then I did not watch TV.
Yeah, it's not even 30. It's like 22 minutes.
Yeah. Johanna, I have a question for you.
Oh no.
Who's the Fonz? Who's
That's
the Fonz?
Henry Winkler. Henry
Hey,
Winkler.
don't tell me who is he? What does he do?
He's the cool guy. He's like, hey,
Now
like,
you know that, but you've never seen.
But what show? What show is he on?
Happy Days.
Well, we kind of helped her out. So even if she didn't know what Happy Days was, we've actually discussed Happy Days already in this
All
episode.
right.
So
And I'm a good bullshit.
Laverne and Shirley are.
Yes, they're these two ladies, and they're on TV. I used to know I know that girl. That's what's her face.
Yeah, what's her face?
And Laverne and Shirley were a spin-off from Happy Days too.
Yes, they were.
yes,
Yes.
they were, yeah.
Like Joni Loves Chachi. I know that show, but I've never seen it.
Do you
I've
know
never
Joni
seen Who's
Loves
the Boss either, or
You've never seen
Three's
Who's
Company.
the Boss. You've never seen Three's Company. Wow.
okay, you guys. I see that we've entered the snaps part of the.
This is
podcast.
this is all news. This is all news. I'm blown away by this.
We're
but,
reeling. We're reeling.
I think this is
I'm
I
sorry.
think this is like breaking news. Like Johanna has.
You ain't-
Please don't kick me out.
See what stupid questions what
evil. No, I'm actually glad I asked this question now because we learned something new that we would have never have learned otherwise. So I'm actually glad this question came up.
Do you
But
know who
I'm-
Cindy Brady is? By any chance, do you know who Cindy Brady is?
all right, let's move on.
I've seen the Brady Bunch movie. Okay, I did see the Brady
Bunch movie.
Let's
Oh,
go.
God,
Let's
not even the
go.
original
Yeah.
Brady Bunch.
So I'm on that note, I am not even going to ask either Joe or Lorenzo on their opinions on this one.
I think we're both
first off,
gonna go
I
Cosby.
know
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
where
it's been
Lorenzo
established.
I know where Lorenzo's going with it. He like worships the ground that the Cosby Show walks on. And Joe, although I'm pretty sure Joe would have an argument.
I said I would pick
in
the
the-
Cosby Show.
Yeah, I'd love to say I'm sure that you would have something nice to say about a different world. You probably wouldn't.
I like
be
the
able
different
to.
world. It's just you don't compare. You don't
compare the
American.
Cosby
I love
Show.
American cheese. I'm not going to compare it to Gouda.
So which one is Cosby Show Gouda?
Yeah, American cheese is not even cheese, man.
Well, a different world is an actual comedy. It is an actual sitcom.
Different leagues.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Well, that's it. That's all we have for tonight. I mean, we've kind of delved into all there is with our knowledge of comedy, and we talked about some Robin Williams stuff. We talked about some instances where the agents found things funny, and we touched base on some of the sitcoms that we've known and loved for a long time. I hope you guys have had a great time. I hope you've enjoyed it. As Johanna's always mentioned, you can find us on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, all of it's Agents of Helm. You can go to agentsofhelm.com where we have all of our original content, including movie reviews, and we post up all of the episodes of our podcasts as well as our weeklies. Feel free to please subscribe to us on iTunes, leave some comments. You can use the Beyond Pod app on Android, and you can search for us there. Please feel free to reach out to us in any way, shape, or form. Before we check out, we're just going to do the Twitter handles for everybody. The Twitter handle for Agents of Helm is @AgentsOfHelm on Twitter. Joe, what's your Twitter name again?
@Jam9270.
And Johanna?
It's at Inky Octopus, INKYOCTOPUS.
And
And
because you do it so well and he has no knowledge as to what his is, you can go ahead and do Lorenzo's as well.
Lorenzo's is R3NZ0R3NZ0. I don't even know if he looks at it. We're still waiting on double hands.
Yes, where's the at double hands, Lorenzo? At double
Seriously.
hands.
Well, Lorenzo probably wouldn't even use that one either. So I
No.
don't know.
No, I mean, if whenever I get a message, it comes out on Google. So it comes out on the Gmail.
Well, register double hands then.
Yeah, I don't know if I can find all the time it's going to take in my busy schedule to register double hands or watch another episode of The Cosby Show.
Well, I would say if Johanna can find the 22 minutes necessary to watch an episode of The Cosby Show, you can find your time.
But she can't,
Here,
can she?
let's make a pact. I will watch an episode of The Cosby Show if you register double hands.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Well, it's great. Well, we'll see where that goes. I can be reached at Mr. Nick 147. That's Mr. Nick 147 on Twitter. So that's it, guys. I had a great time. I hope you guys did as well. We are the Agents of Helm, and we will see you guys soon with another weekly and another podcast coming up. Have a great night and enjoy your weekends. Peace out.
Peace.
Nanu.
Nanu.